Denny Blanco, without further ado, let's get right into it. Last week on this very show, we mentioned about Pascal Siakam. Will he be on the move? Could he be on the move? Some options. We mentioned Golden State. We mentioned the Dallas Mavericks. Sacramento was in the mix. And exactly 1 week later, Mr. Pascal Siakam is no longer a Toronto Raptor. Why? Because now he is part of the Indiana Pacers. Going to Toronto is Bruce Brown, Jordan Nwora, and 3 first-round picks. So Pascal is with Halliburton, Obi, Mathurin, Buddy Hield, Miles Turner. Toronto is doing some shifting around. They just got quickly and RJ Barrett a few weeks ago for OG Anunoby. They get Bruce Brown. I think they might flip him. They got some draft picks, so they kind of know what time it is. A little mini rebuild, I guess, with the focal point being around Scotty Barnes. He's now the main guy in Toronto, but now Indiana, who was a very good team to begin with in the Eastern Conference, had just become better with the addition of Siakam. He will be a free agent this summer, and they're banking on him to re-sign and get a max contract deal with Indiana. So right off the top, Siakam is now on the Pacers. You see what Toronto is doing. What are your thoughts on Indiana becoming more of a firepower team in the Eastern Conference?
Shout out to everyone, Sir Denny Blanco, Randy J. Cruz. What it is?
Love the hat, man. It's cold outside.
Hey, man, I'm bald, baby. I'm bald, baby. Hey, shout out to everybody. Obviously following the pages, following us, listening to us. We appreciate y'all. First and foremost, let's talk Toronto. Scotty Barnes, it's your team now, baby. It's your team. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a rebuild. Ship Pascal. They obviously shipped all the other pieces away. Bruce Brown probably be shipped away too as well.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Raptors at 12. It's like, what are we going to do? Messiah Ujiri? What are we going to do this year? Possibly nothing. Let's get into position to draft some folks and get better players for Scotty Barnes in the future. Indiana Pacers. Oh my goodness. Now we mentioned this. I'm looking at the stats and where we are in the Eastern Conference currently. The other day I was talking to you about where the Knicks are and where they rank, and you were saying, look, they're only separated by a couple of games. I looked up. It looked like the Knicks were behind. I looked up a couple of days. The Knicks were behind the Heat and the Pacers. I blinked. Now they're 5th.
Yeah.
So I couldn't come on and talk shit to you.
No, it's a log jam. Like you lose 2 games, you're at 8th. You win 2 games, you're at 4th.
Yeah. So just to be clear, Boston, Bucks, Sixers, Cavs, Knicks at 5, Heat at 6, Pacers at 7, Magic at 8. Indiana Pacers, Pascal Siakam, what does he average? Maybe 22, 23.
In that range, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to jump up to 25, 26 easy. Because that's what your boy Halliburton does, baby. He gets you an extra 3 points that you didn't even know you needed. Extra 4 points. Like, oh, thank you. Layup. Oh, thank you. Dunk.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I match it to Tyrese Halliburton. Somebody's going to say I'm wrong, but I don't care. Tyrese Halliburton has the Infinity Stone passing of Jason Kidd. Now, a lot of people are going to say that's not the case, but quite frankly, when you're averaging, what is he averaging? Like 12, 13 assists a game. And some of these games I'm watching, these passes are pinpoint. They're on the money. There are even passes where I'm like, he passed the guy open. The guy wasn't open, but the pass came and he was open. It's like, what? So I say all that to say, the Indiana Pacers just got better. I don't know if they're better than the Knicks, the Cavs, the Sixers, Bucks, or Celtics. I think they're better.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I think they're better than the Heat. And I don't think they're better than the Knicks. But they did get better.
Well, to your point, Halliburton, 24, 13, and 4. That's what he averages now. He's currently injured, and he was pretty much the main scoring option for them. But now when you add Siakam, all-star, champion, that kind of guy that's been in that role for Toronto last couple of years, that can get you 20, 25, 30 a game. Now the scoring load comes off of Tyrese Halliburton. It's going
to do this. He's going to average 20. He's 24 and 13. He's going to be like maybe 20 and 15.
Maybe, yeah.
Points is going to drop. The assist is going to go up.
Because now you get that second scoring option that Halliburton does not have to do all the time. You keep. We've been hearing Buddy Hield in trade rumors for 3 years now. They kept him. They kept Obi. They kept Mathurin. They kept Miles Turner. He was in rumors years ago, but I think they finally understand that with this core of 6-7 guys, that they can really compete in the East. And I think it'll maybe they show what the Knicks do, and like, you know what, we gotta do something now with what they do. That might entice in Orlando to make a move, or the Miami Heat to be like, hey, listen, we got to get some other guy or some other guys here. We see Zach LaVine's going to be in the rumors, and the DeJounte Murray and those guys. So we're about less than a month away from the trade deadline, but I think this really helps Indiana. Where would they end up in the East? I don't know, but once Halliburton comes back, it'll be they were fun to watch already. Now you put this guy Siakam in the mix, like, oh shit, like now this is a legit threat to maybe Philadelphia, to maybe the Bostons, and maybe they already got a little scrapping beef with Milwaukee.
You
So
said legit.
You don't think Indiana is legit now with Siakam?
Legit contender?
I mean, like, okay.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding what you're saying before I answer.
Can they get out the first round?
Oh yeah, possibly, sure.
Okay. Are we talking about semifinals?
No.
So they can't. So you just said out the first round, yeah, but now they're not semifinals team. Which one is it?
Okay. Third round is the final.
I'm talking about first round. Can this team win a first round matchup?
If they get out the first round, they in the semifinals.
Yeah. There's a first round. There's a conference semis, and there's a conference
semis, and then the finals. They can get to the conference semis depending on the matchups.
Okay, so we're looking at maybe a potential. Can they finish top 4 in the East when it comes to that time in the playoffs?
And when it comes to that question, I don't believe they are able to. Not the way the East, not the way these guys up top are playing. Shout out to the Cavs. I don't know, because obviously they just cracked. What did they just crack last night? They cracked Milwaukee, but Giannis wasn't playing,
right?
So, but then the Bucks just cracked Celtics by like 40 something.
Yeah.
So even though my early pick is Boston to represent.
Oh no, we've seen things go up and down. Like we just saw Orlando beat the Knicks early in the week. We saw the Knicks blow out Philly a week and a half ago by 30. So it's like, it's like boom, 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 up and down.
What team in the East is undefeated at home?
Is it Boston?
Damn right.
Okay, well.
20-0. So
just because you said that, I guarantee the next week or so they're going to lose at home.
God bless.
Okay.
Bottom line is, it seems like the conference and everything's going to go through Boston. So plan your trips accordingly. You know what I mean? I'm going to plan mine in my princely robe. Yeah. And we're going to go up to Boston, because that's where the championship's going to have to. You're going to have to go there and take it from them. The way they're playing at home, away 12-9, at home 20-0.
Well, like I mentioned, Tyrese is still injured. We're going to see when he comes back. Obviously, when he does come back, it'll be full throttle going on in. We got the All-Star break coming up, so maybe they might take some more time for him to come back. Obviously, it is in Indiana, so I would assume Tyrese will, 1, make the All-Star team, 2, probably start, 3, will play in the game. I don't know about the whole game, but they probably take it easy for him coming up the next month or so. But I like the trade for Indiana. It really pushed them in the driver's seat to make some noise. And that if you're starting 5 is Turner, Siakam, Tyrese, Buddy, Hield, and Mathurin, that's
no, it's no.
Pretty tough.
They
got Obi on the bench. You got McConnell, so they got a nice 7-8 man roster right now.
They have a great roster. Shout out to my man Jim Carrey, aka Rick Carlisle. Your man is quietly just putting his head down, coaching players, getting the best out of them. Again, the players seem comfortable. They don't seem like they do not like their coach. So shout out to the mask.
So on the flip side, Toronto, they're still doing this rebuild. Again, they got Barrett, they got quickly from New York. They get Bruce Brown in this trade from Indiana. They get 3 first-round picks. They got a couple picks in that Knicks deal. So they're building for something. And Scotty Barnes is the main guy right now. So they got a good core of Barnes, quickly, and Barrett. I think they might flip Bruce Brown for what I've been reading and seeing to get more pieces or maybe a veteran player. We just don't know. But Toronto seems they see the light. Like, this season's we ain't going nowhere.
It's gone.
We're going to build for next year.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
So I mean, do I like it for them? I just it's hard to give them a grade because if that's what you get for Siakam. I mean, three first round picks is a lot. I think 2 of them is 24 and maybe 1 next year or 1 this year and 2 next year. So those picks are coming up pretty soon. So they want this rebuild to happen pretty fast.
Of course they do, because the clock is ticking on Scotty Barnes, baby. The clock is ticking.
Yeah. So Bruce Brown, champion in Denver, goes to Indiana, did not work out. Listen, matter of fact, perfect segue. I had this in last week. Speaking of Denver, I know we spoke about it off the air. I really want to get the official take on this. So I was watching the Carmelo podcast, and the big thing about Joker 15, his number being given to Joker. Oh man, where do I start? So Joker wear 15 now. He got drafted in 2014, second round pick. Nobody knew where he was going to be.
No.
You fast forward time a decade later. He's a 2-time MVP. He's a world champion. He's probably one of the best big men in NBA history, and arguably one of the greatest Nuggets, if not the greatest Nugget of all time. But he wears 15, the same number that Carmelo wore from 03 to 11. We know how everything ended up, but it's kind of when you bring it to the light, it's kind of odd. Like, damn, why would they give Jokic 15? And
Easy.
Listen, when it's all said and done, when that number goes to the Raptors in Mile High, is it going to be Jokic? Is it going to be Anthony? Is it going to be a collab? Like,
you want me to answer that for you?
That's the bugged out thing.
It's not bugged out for me. It's very simple for me.
So you're saying when Denver retires 15, it's just Jokic and that's it?
It's very simple for me. Here's how it goes. You ready? First and foremost, let's start from the beginning. Do you think Melo had a better career in Denver or New York? Let me answer that for you. Why you think? Go ahead.
Really?
I'm answering your question. Do you think the number?
Argument is
shout out to Gil. Shout out to Gil. He already put out the numbers. It's New York. It's New York.
Yeah, but
more All Stars. But
he went to the conference finals with Denver.
Facts? No. I'm talking about his numbers.
He was the closest to an NBA finals with the Denver Nuggets.
Correct.
The same team was he ever MVP?
Was he ever MVP candidate with Denver or with New York?
Okay, and he won a scoring title with New York.
So your answer, are you saying it's Denver?
Listen, you asked me a question. Better career. We're going like just numbers wise, or how far the
numbers.
Listen,
he had a better career with New York based on the numbers.
Let's not do this because I can go check the numbers for you. And
Carmelo, let me finish.
Carmelo averaged highest in 1 year with New York. Yes. But he wasn't just averaging 20, 21 in Denver. He was getting 25, 26, 27. They're the same.
Let me finish my point, which is he had a better career. The point I'm trying to make overall for me is he had a better career. He's better known in terms of the numbers, even though he didn't go to the Western Conference, even though he didn't go to the Eastern Conference Finals. He went to the semis. Obviously, all-stars. He won the USA, 2 USA gold medals. This is all with New York, okay? I say all that to say Denver obviously didn't care too much about his number 15. They didn't care about him going to the Western Conference Finals. I think he won Rookie of the Year, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong. They didn't care about none of his accolades there to even think that 15 wasn't an option.
And that's the bugged out part because the last time I checked, when he got drafted by Denver, he
They
changed the whole culture. He
they
changed
were
the whole everything for them.
they were
Yeah.
nothing. This is just
They
keep
were
it what it
nothing
is.
when he before he got there. Once in the same draft, same as LeBron. Once he got to the Cavs, they changed the logo, the colors, this and that. Same with Denver, and the fact that he was in the playoffs every single year until the time he left. And I guess the whole thing about him wanting to leave, that's a different story. But I guess they hold that grudge. Like, oh, if you want him to be out, all right. So when
You
this
add
other
that too,
guy's
the
gonna
trade, the
come back
force me to
up,
trade out. There you go. Add that too. There you go.
oh, yeah, but okay. Let me ask you a question. When James Harden retires, what team is going to retire his number out of all the teams he's been on?
Houston.
The same team he wanted out, right? The same team that you forced his way out, right?
One caveat.
Oh, here we go.
It's a caveat. Big bro.
Okay. It's the same with Melo. If you're gonna say Melo forced his way out, the same with James Harden.
Stop. Joker's a two-time MVP? One-time MVP.
Two.
Harden was an MVP.
Okay.
In Houston. Of course they're going to retire his number. In Houston, he was an MVP. Now, again, if Melo was an MVP in Denver, no dispute, no debate. Mind you, I'm not saying Denver's right. I'm not saying Denver's right. I'm just saying I see why they did the nonsense because they hate the man. That's all it was. It was hate. That's all it was. You give it, he did very well for Denver. Melo, that is. He did very well for Denver. Forces his way out. He wasn't an MVP. Forces his way out. And they felt a type of way, maybe. Maybe they didn't. But 15's available. Hey, yeah, have 15. We don't care. It was, but so that's my take on it. I understand why they did it. I don't like it, but I understand why they did it.
That's a number you got to hold to the side. Jokic is coming out the draft. Okay, Jokic, we have 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18 available. Which one you want?
No.
Now, we don't know if Jokic said, listen, I'm a big Carmelo fan. I'm a big Carmelo guy. I want to wear 15 if you have it available. But Denver at that point should say, you know what? I appreciate that. No. But that's kind of like off limits. But then it's like, now it don't mean nothing because you gave it away. Again, we did not know Jokic was going to be this way a decade later, respectfully. So now when he has these accolades, granted, so my thing is this, to make everybody happy. When that day comes, you're going to put a big banner, extra big, because it's big 15. Just put Anthony on one side and put on one side, and that's it.
No. We have to obviously keep it real. Obviously, now Denver is now known as Joker Town, and unfortunately, things are the way they are. Shout out to the New York Knicks. I would much rather see him, even though he didn't. He took his team with his big back, broad shoulders to the semifinals with a one-leg Jason Kidd. J.R. Smith, who didn't want to play at the time. Who else? Amari Stoudemire, who wanted to break hands. It was just a lot that Melo had to deal with in New York for me to justify. Even though he didn't win MVP, he was MVP. Yeah. He was in the MVP vote conversation.
Like 7 coaches.
He was in the conversation, having stated that he, his New York career, could justify an actual.
So his time in Denver. His time in Denver. So we're just going to negate 21, 21, 27, 29, 26, 23, 28, 26, and 25. Multiple time All-Star, Western Conference Finals appearance. Like, if he didn't do anything in Denver on numbers wise, Jokic, here's 15. But the fact that he made your team relevant for 8 years, that even said, hey, listen, Allen Iverson wants to play here. Marcus Camby was good at the time. Kenyon Martin, J.R. Smith, like people was coming to Denver because of Carmelo.
I agree. That still doesn't mean
if he didn't have the impact, then we're good. But he had the impact there.
Means nothing. Again, unfortunately, I'm just telling you.
I mean, I can't do shit about it now. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, again, that was the concept when they were talking about it. It's just like feel away. I feel a way about it. At the same time, I understand they on their Denver ish. That's what
Mm-hmm.
it is. Bottom line.
So if he doesn't get the number in Denver, do you think New York
Do I think? I don't know. I
retires?
don't. I don't listen. I don't want to to assume anything. There is a lot of red tape that needs to
Mm.
be cut in order for some things to be done. So I'm not going to sit here and assume that he'll have his number hung. But based on what I just said
But
and what
should he?
he, yes, he should
Okay.
absolutely, without a question.
Well, yeah, both Denver and New York.
I mean, you want to keep reaching. Do you? Do you? You want to keep reaching? I ain't gonna be Mr. Fantastic with you, big
Uh,
bro. Go ahead.
listen, it's going to be Jokic. Respectfully, I just propose make the jersey just a little bit bigger, like a big jersey. Put 15 right in the middle. You put Jokic and Anthony in the same.
Oh, he
Yeah,
froze.
come on, man. You can do that. So I mean, listen. Speaking of retired jerseys, I think I saw 2 weeks ago that Orlando is going to retire Shaq's number. I think it's the first number Orlando has ever retired. So Shaq is going to be the first one, number 32. Spent quite some time there, NBA Finals and all that good stuff with Orlando. One, congrats to Shaq. Two, it kind of goes back to Joker and Melo. So um, when it comes to maybe a Penny Hardaway, he wore number one in Orlando. But the question is, T Mac also wore number one in Orlando. So if Shaq goes up, and the next one could be a Penny Hardaway or Tracy McGrady, they both wore the same number. Which one goes up, Penny or T Mac?
Penny, T Mac will possibly could go up for Houston, but it's gonna be Penny. It should be Penny. Is what I'm saying. It
Mm,
should be Penny. That's what I'm looking at because don't get me wrong. Tracy McGrady in Orlando was tough, but he
yeah.
was tougher in Houston, baby. He was tougher in Houston. And then you have to look at
Are you sure about that? Are you really sure he was tougher in Houston than Orlando? Because T
what?
Mac Orlando is what put him on the map. He was in Toronto, yes, but T Mac Orlando is what got him to be the multiple time All Star, all these highlights, this and that, going up against Kobe. Like he was. Listen, I'm not saying he was the best for a whole year, but there was an argument. People could say what they want. There was a time that people said T Mac was the best two guard in the league. I know Kobe was in there at the same time. I get that. But for a small time, Orlando T Mac, you can say was the best guard in the league. He led the league in scoring twice in Orlando, back to back, 32, 33. So as much as I like him in Houston, I think T Mac Orlando is the definitive T Mac for me.
All right. Well, we disagree. I mean, it's splitting hairs. God bless. So like I said, definitely Houston. I
But
got
why
Houston.
Houston? Why Houston over Orlando T Mac?
I mean, again, I'm seeing him against Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
Going back and forth, him playing in the West, playing all the the great competition. But it is what it is. You're splitting hairs with Tracy and Penny because they were both phenomenal players. And obviously, if they're not both in Hall of Fame, I don't know. But my Hall of Fame, they're my Hall of Fame.
T Mac is in there. Penny is not in there. I mean, you ask me, Hall of Famer, but some might have a difference of opinion on that because of injuries and whatnot and whatnot. But if you those who don't know or recall Penny back in the day, like that guy was that guy was a bad guy.
He was not to be messed with. He was not to be messed with. He was not to be messed
Oh
with.
no. I mean, I see convos every week. Like name the X player that if he did not get hurt would have the best career. And as they put up Penny, they put up Grant Hill, they put up Derrick Rose and Yao Ming and Brandon Roy there's so many people that just got hindered by injuries. But I mean, if Penny does not get hurt, and I can say this for like 10 other people, it's a no brainer. Of how talented, how good this guy would have been, could have been champion. We don't know, but you know, I see that convo flowing all the time, every week, bro. It's really amazing.
No, that's. I mean, it is what it is. We're at a again phenomenal players. We're just talking about literally where they should go up because they're able to be phenomenal in more places than one. So
Mm.
that's just the concept.
But who would you say out of all the guys who had the talent, who was on that path, and then got hurt? You're like, damn, man, this guy don't get
I
fucked.
mean, it's too many. I wish I mean, Tracy, Brandon Waugh.
Roy, Brandon Roy. There's
He's
no
French.
Wah.
He's French. It's Roy.
You're
It's
thinking of the
wrong.
hockey player,
I am.
Patrick Wah.
I am completely. There's so many. Those are the two. Those are two that just come off the top of my head. But that injuries will always. Kobe. I just Kobe went through a couple of injuries himself. I wish he didn't tear his Achilles. Even though he came back, I still didn't think that he deserved. A couple of these injuries. Some of these players just
Mhm.
slows up what they were going to do when it comes to numbers. So yeah, that's about it, man.
Real quick, they put in a new NBA draft. I don't know if you've seen it. The new NBA draft kind of format. It's gonna be 2 days, like the NFL.
Money, money.
Yes, I guess round one is one day, and it's round two the other day. Like NFL purposes. So, again, more days, more time, more airtime, more money. Like you said, more sponsors. So I see the direction. They're following a lot of NFL footsteps. I also saw that NFL or Netflix had this quarterback series. They followed three quarterbacks during the season and do a little storytelling. So now NBA is going to mimic something like that. I think LeBron's going to be behind it, producing it, and I think it was the people that they were thinking about following. Obviously, LeBron with one. Oh man, I think it was Sabonis, Tatum, and some other guy. So I would say next year, maybe this year they start filming, but next year they start putting out this Netflix type series of following a player.
Hard knocks like NFL. Hard knocks.
I mean, I think it's about time that did something like a hard knocks. I mean, not on one team, but like you get individual players to show them on the court and off the court and what they go through, training, stuff like that. Like, just it gives a better insight of what an athlete is doing every fucking day.
I mean, yeah, definitely. We have fans that want to see that. I don't. I
Hmm.
mean, I may want to see practice. Practice, man. I may want to see how they practice some of these
Hmm.
skills. Skills or preparation they go through in order to get ready for a game. That's probably what I'm interested in. But
Hmm.
again, it's about money. It's about generations. About how much you can generate for the NBA brand, and you can make the NBA. You can make the draft 2 days, 3 days.
Yeah.
You got to sell better ad dollars. It's all about money. So God bless.
My last question, before I get you out of here, I know you got some things to do. How do I ask this? All right, so MVP. I know every year we go into the same people: Embiid, Joker, Giannis. But I want to ask a guy like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, who has OKC at the number 2 spot currently in the Western Conference, behind Minnesota, who's doing their thing right now. Denver's 3, and Philly is at the 3rd spot. As of right now, who is your leading way candidate for MVP? And there's a guy like Shea, can he be in that mix as well? Because without him being the motor for OKC, I don't know where they'll be at. So I think Embiid averages like 35. I mean, let me be right on that because his numbers is crazy.
No,
Embiid is
MB. I think
35, 12,
MB
and
can't
6.
win because of his injuries.
No, I think he's close to that number. I think
Oh,
it's 65 and up. So
they're
if
gonna sit
he's
him. They're gonna sit him come playoff time. They're gonna sit him. So he's not gonna get that number. They're gonna sit him.
all right, so So you scratch off
Yes,
Embiid.
scratch off Embiid. They're gonna sit him.
All
So
right, Joker 26-12. Jesus Christ, 26-12-9, and they're number 3 in the West. And Shea is 31-6-6.
yeah, I got to give a look to SGA. He had a tough out against the Clippers. They clamped on his. They clamped on him.
Mm-hmm.
Clamped on him.
Okay.
But overall, number 2 in the West.
Yeah, behind Minnesota. So maybe Ant-Man might get some looks, but it's going to be the same people.
Not with
Joker,
Ant.
Embiid.
No, Ant-Man can't get it because he has
I mean,
the former
Tatum. Can
defensive
Tatum
player.
be
He
up
has the
there?
former defensive player of the year on his team, and he has a All-Star on his team. So
I
yeah,
mean,
he has help. That's
I
one.
mean Tatum 27-8-4. Boston best record, haven't lost at home. I think it's going to come down to Joker and being like Shea. I think.
Yeah, that make Joker, Shea, I can run with. And maybe in Tatum, I could run with that.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, obviously Tatum's argument is Tatum has another all-star in Brent Brown. So when you put that into perspective and you put the Nuggets,
Mm-hmm.
then you put Boston, and you look at OKC, you're like, Denver just won a championship. Boston just came out of the Eastern NBA Finals, Eastern Conference Finals, what have you, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
OKC is 27-13. Never been to the conference finals. Never been to the NBA finals. Nothing. You got a guy who's young, a baby, averaging 31 plus.
I
Yeah,
mean, OKC did make the playoffs and finals like 12 years ago,
oh,
but still.
come on, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
So you look
Ibaka,
at
K.
that,
Perk.
and I'm just So you look at that overall, and I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
SGA has a valid case for MVP this year. He keeps it up, definitely.
No, I'm with it. I mean, let's say if he does win it, he'll be the first guard since Westbrook to win it. Because the last couple have been
If I'm not
Giannis,
mistaken,
Embiid,
yeah,
and Joker.
bigs. Yeah, since Harden, because Harden won it last. If I'm not mistaken, guard that the last guard
Harden
that
and
won was
Westbrook.
Harden. Yeah, Harden and Westbrook. So
Yeah.
yeah, I can see it. Based on that case alone. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're looking at that case in Boston and how they're set up in terms of the players they have, and then you look at Denver, they just won a freaking chip. So the players that they have. OKC got a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
Got a bunch of second and third year players, and they're
True.
27-13. Those are the
Mm-hmm.
facts. So shout out to SGA, baby. You balling.
That's right. I mean, we'll see what goes on. Maybe someone gets traded next week, and we can talk about it. But yeah, Siakam's to Indiana. We'll see how he does. He should be debuting pretty soon with Indiana. So we'll check him out. But Denny
Before
Blanco,
we
find him
go,
on. Say what?
before we go, you're not gonna talk to me about you're not gonna talk to me about possibly Quentin Grimes trade.
No, because until something happens, I'm not going to talk about that. No, I talk about no trades until it happens.
Don't talk about it. Let me talk about it, you
Yeah,
son of a bitch.
Siakam, we
Let
talk
me let
about
me
it.
let me talk. Let me talk about it. First and foremost,
Ananabi, we spoke about it.
let me talk about
I'm
it.
not getting
First
no
and
rumors,
foremost,
man.
it's
No.
not even. It's not rumors. It's not rumors. It's somebody's putting out these notes. Somebody's putting these feelers for Quentin Grimes. Quite saying he's a perturbed, not happy with his playing time. If I'm Quentin Grimes and I'm sitting behind Quickly and RJ Barrett, and they both get traded, wouldn't it be fair to assume that my numbers, my minutes would increase? It'd be fair to assume.
Yeah.
But my minutes didn't increase.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the problem?
I don't know. Call Tibbs.
Tibbs, happy
Call him.
birthday. Maybe you need to shake off
Call
those
him up.
birthday party vibes. And
Yeah. Invite Grimes to the birthday party, Tibbs.
yeah,
Come on.
shake off them birthday party vibes. You just turned 66. God bless.
Yeah.
Shake that off.
Well,
And
if something happens, I'm pretty sure we'll bring it up. But right now, Quentin Grimes is still a member of the Knicks. We'll see what
let me put
happens
let
in
me
a
put
month.
this on. Let me put this on tape. If the Knicks trade Quentin Grimes,
Mm-hmm.
it's a bad move. Is all.
All right. On that note, Sir Denny Blanco on Twitter or X and IG, all that social media stuff. Myself, Randy J. Cruz, Rendy, letter JCRUZ. You find the podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, also on Amazon Music, YouTube.com/Cruise Control Podcast, also on TikTok at It's in the Game Pod. Go ahead, download, rate, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Show some love and support for your boys on the program. Randy Cruz, Denny Blanco, It's in the Game Podcast. We out.
It's in the game, you heard?
Yes, sir.